the panels. Because unless you train them... National Housing Corporation, as you said, was established in 1967 under the Housing Act, Cap 117, with the two major mandates. And one of the mandates is to develop, to facilitate in development of housing, decent housing and affordable housing for all Kenyans. The other major mandate is to facilitate the improvement of rural housing. Those are the two major mandates under the National Housing Corporation. The Housing Fund is established under the Cap 117, and actually that is the funding that establishes the National Housing Corporation in terms of funding various projects that it undertakes. So in terms of the fund, the National Housing Corporation manages the housing fund in various ways in terms of mobilizing money for construction of houses in various local authorities and also in various counties, particularly at the moment. We are doing quite a lot in terms of counties, and also we are doing various projects in Nairobi, particularly the Mandaraka estates. We are doing also the Langata estates. We are doing the Robo estates. We have just concluded the Kilidesho projects and other projects within Nairobi. We will be taking also major projects like in the Riverstone, where we have bought 150 acres of land, where we intend to put about 4,500 housing units. So in terms of managing the housing fund, is really what has assisted us to be able to develop so many houses that we have put since the corporation established in 1967. And we have been able to put about 45,000 houses countrywide. These are mainly found within various local authorities, because that's the major areas that we are concentrating when the Housing Act was first formulated. So you find in every municipality, every local authority, we have put up so many houses that today, you know, we are also assisting in the management of those houses in partnership with the various local authorities. The major institutions which have been assisting us in terms of funding various projects, we have actually the local banks. We have also in partnership with firms or companies from China. We are also partnering with some companies from United States of America, and they have given us a lot of support in terms of financial support and also technological support. The major estates which we are doing under this particular partnership, one is the Kilidesho, which has just been finalized, which we partnered with China, a Chinese firm. We are finalizing another project in the Robo West, which is also being financed by our local banks and also a Chinese firm. We have also our local contractors who have also assisted in financing some projects like the Mandaraka project and also the Langata projects. Those are the major financiers. But what we are saying is that we want to mobilize more funds in terms of trying to finalize, to finance very major projects in the country. We are, as I said earlier, we are trying to do the 4,500 houses in Mavoko. It will not be easy for the corporation to actually finance these projects. And therefore we expect to mobilize international financing so that we can be able to finance these projects. The other thing we're trying to do is that liaise with diaspora. I know there is a lot of money being remitted to the country by the diaspora, and we want to liaise with the various banks that have probably accounts for the diaspora and see how we mobilize these funds for the construction process. I think also there is a misunderstanding between our people about what National Housing Corporation actually provides. And I think there is this misunderstanding that National Housing Corporation is constructing houses for civil servants. It is very, very wrong. The National Housing Corporation constructs houses for all Kenyans. And not only do we construct houses, we have various packages, various housing modules that we are giving to Kenyans. One, I think it's the issue of tenant purchase houses. Tenant purchase houses is where people pay between 10 and 20%, but basically it is 10%, so that it's affordable to Kenyans. And then once you pay the 10%, the other amount is calculated to be paid over the 18 years to completion. That means really, once you pay the 10%, you have about 18 years to finalize payment of that particular house. That means you are a tenant as well as a purchaser at the same time, which is a more affordable way of purchasing a house, considering the interest rates that's also in Kenya. And our interest rates here is actually 13%, which you can't get out with any commercial enterprises or commercial banks. And as I said earlier, the National Housing Corporation was established to assist the Kenyans, be able to afford decent housing. And that's why we have tenant purchase schemes that can assist Kenyans to get houses. The other scheme we have is outright purchase. This is a cash basis. Mostly the estates or housing schemes that are financed by either financial institutions or contractor financed, or also foreign investors are financed. We normally sell on outright purchase. This is because the interest rates is quite high, and therefore also the person who is financing it will want the money at the end of the construction period. And therefore we have various examples of these ones, like Nairobi West is actually an outright purchase. We have also Kileleshwa, which is an outright purchase. We have Mandaraka, which is outright purchase. And you find out in this particular project, the reason why they are outright purchase is because they are also financed outside the National Housing Corporation financing system. The other houses we have is we have also the rental housing, which the National Housing Corporation runs. This rental housing are spread all over the counties. We have many in Nairobi, Mombasa, Voi, Kisumu, Eldoret. And these ones basically, even the rent itself is discounted rent, so that it's affordable, to Kenyans. We have one of the very basic loans that we provide, which is also very popular. And this one, I think, there are also many Kenyans who do not know that National Housing Corporation provides rural housing. If you look at the National Housing Policy of 2004, and also the National Housing Policy that established the National Housing Corporation in 1967, there was a lot of emphasis of rural housing, because it was felt that in rural housing, in terms of quality, the quality was low, and therefore there was need for the government to concentrate on the issue of improving the rural housing. So National Housing Corporation provides rural housing schemes at 13%, at a maximum of 3 million. But I think that we are going to review this one because of cost of construction, so that we can raise it to probably up to 5 million, and then we expect many Kenyans also to take advantage of this one, so that they can be able to improve their rural housing systems. If you look at deficit of housing today, we are talking about 200 housing deficit annually. That means that since the policy was started in 2004, in terms of backlog, we've deficit of so many. It's 2,000 multiplied by those years. If you look at the construction process today in the country, it is too slow. For instance, if we are to put about 300,000 units in the country today, it takes about 3 to 4 years. And this is common. If we continue with that trend, then what it means is that the backlog is going to keep on increasing, and it will never reach a point where we'll have enough houses. It is in that aspect that the corporation decided to liaise with the other foreigners who are providing housing, the Italian company, that we bought the EPS factory. The EPS factory produces the steel panels. These panels, in terms of construction, a house can be constructed within 7 days. And therefore, what you're talking about, is the time of construction, which will be fast, and the cost of construction will be low, unlike the traditional method of construction. So the purpose of the factory is to be able to produce those panels, the standard panels, that will be used to produce kind of industrialized housing. Industrialized housing, I mean that we are going to produce mass houses to be able to address the housing deficit that is found in the country. And I believe, even when it comes to slum upgrading and such kind of programs that the government has, the government will be able to use some of these steel panels to be able to do so many houses for the slum dwellers.